Okay, guys, welcome to Go Capital. This is going to be the first class of the advanced course. The advanced course is going to be very interesting, and it is really going to assist you if you are a beginner, and also if you are a trader already, if you have been a trader for some time. I want to say that there is quite a lot of things on YouTube that you can benefit from, but I'm going to make the advanced course to be something really special, something really unique that you have not seen before. You may have seen something like it, but this is the way I use it. This is the way I have developed it to suit my psychology. As traders, we can learn the same thing but use it differently because of the kind of personality we are, because of the time we have, because of the experience we have, because of the exposure we have. Quite a lot of factors can make us use the same thing differently. So what I'm going to be teaching you in the advanced course is not going to be something from the sky, something entirely new to the earth. No, this is something that has been existing, just that you don't know how to use it. You don't know how to combine the simplicity of it to make profit for yourself. In fact, this is one of the reasons why it took me a longer time to begin the advanced course, because I was looking for a proper way to display the simplicity of the strategy, because I'm going to be teaching you a strategy, just one strategy. It's not as if I can't teach you that strategy in one single class, but you are not going to understand it. So the strategy is one, but I'm going to break it into several lessons, several videos, maybe up to 4, maybe up to 6, maybe up to 8, depending on how we are able to go per time, because I don't want to be taking more than 30 to 40 minutes per class. So depending on what I'm able to cover in every the window I'm giving out for the class, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, depending on the content I'm able to cover, to determine whether it's going to be 4 classes, 5, 6, 7, or even 10 or 20. But be rest assured that it's just one strategy I'll be teaching you. It's not going to be a mix-up of a lot of strategies. Then you're going to be looking for how to use it in your own way so that it can work for you. Yeah, fine, you are going to learn to use it your own way, but it is not something that you will have to be selecting the part of it that you need to trade. No, this is just one whole single strategy. Very simple, very straightforward, but I want to take it slowly so that you can benefit, so that you can understand the strategy very clearly. So, and I also want to say that there is no strategy that is 100%. This is how I have been trading, and I cannot tell you that the strategy you want to learn now is going to be 100%. That is going to work 100%. You are going to be profitable with it. That's what I know, because of some other factors I will teach in the master class, which will entail traders psychology. Because if you don't have proper risk management and proper psychology about the market, no matter how powerful the strategy you are using is, it is not going to profit you at all. I make losses. I have taken 3 years of trading to develop what I want to pass across to you now for free. It's actually something I developed from the bulk of the knowledge I've gotten from others as well, because I have paid for so many courses. In fact, I've been into so many groups, and I have followed a lot of mentors. It didn't work out. So until by the number of hours I've spent on the chart and in trading, I've been able to deduce something that is working for me every time I come, except on few occasions when I did not apply it properly. Yes, even me that created it sometimes do not apply it properly. And when I say created, I'm not saying I own the blocks I use in building it, but the one single strategy I want to teach you is my work. It's something new. I call it price pathway. Are you getting me? So the pathway of price, that's what I'm going to teach you. Just one thing, price pathway. It's not going to be scattered. It's not going to be too many. It's going to be something you will easily understand. So now let's get to it. What are we going to be doing in the advanced course? Is simply put, price. We're doing price pathway. That's all we'll be looking at in the advanced course. Now, it's not as if you have not seen this. You have seen this, just that you don't know that this is what you should be using to trade. You don't know that this is profitable. You don't know that this is how this is how price is. So because in the forex market, you buy and sell at levels. You buy and sell at price levels. So there is a pathway price moves. So if you can understand the pathway, if you can study that path that price follows, then you will follow it, and then by it you'll be able to make profit for yourself. So what we'll be looking at today and in the entirety of this advanced course is price pathway. Okay, so now what we stand out very clear in this strategy is going to be let me use the word behavior. That is one of the things that is going to stand out very clear as we look into this strategy, the behavior of price. So another way to look at price pathway is to say price behavior. How does price behave? Now these terms I'm using look familiar to you, but trust me, what I'm about to show you is going to wow you. You will be amazed. You'll be like, so is this how simple price behave? Is this how simple that I should look at price? And what makes you a profitable trader is knowing what to look at. That's all. Simply knowing what to look at. If you just know what to look at, where to look at, when to look at it, you are going to be profitable. So price behavior. How does price behave? How does the forex market behave? How does trading looks like? That's what you are going to learn. Just one strategy, and it will be all you are looking for. To some persons, they may not even need to complete all the lessons, they will start making money. While to some persons, they will need to complete all the videos before they start making money. But in any way, I can assure you that this is not going to be something you will hear about and not find something useful about it. Are you getting me? So you are not just going to hear about it and it will be one of those knowledge you just trash. Do you get me? It's going to be something you will look forward to working with. Now, and in a bit for me to show you the behavior of price, I'm going to tell you how you analyze this price behavior, the pathway. So what are the three components that are involved in this price pathway that I'm talking about? So, and that will make me to say that the advanced course, I'll be dividing it into something like let me say fundamental analysis. So we'll be doing something like this, and then let me put it as number one. Then number two, we'll be looking at technical analysis. We'll be looking at technical analysis. And then lastly, we'll be looking at sentimental analysis. This is going to be the 3 parts of this course. We are looking at price pathway, but we are dividing it into 3 aspects: fundamental analysis, technical analysis, and then sentimental analysis. So I'm not going to waste so much of your time. I'm just going to go straight into the fundamental analysis aspect of the course, and it's not going to be more than this video. In fact, I can just say it in one word, but I'm not just going to say it in one word. I will take you gradually to understand what it is all about. Now, fundamental analysis is going to be our next, but why am I talking like this? Many people have already understood that fundamental analysis is trading with the news. No, not exactly. Fundamental analysis is not trading news. That's not what it is. Trading news may be part of it, but that is not what it is. Are you getting me? So then technical analysis is analyzing the price chart, and then you looking at the chart, you spot the particular strat, you spot what we are looking for in that chart, and you trade. So when you are analyzing, there is something you are looking at. Let me say this: I'm a chemist. I graduated as a chemistry student, and I work in the lab a lot. Now, one of the things that we do in the lab is we have what we call SOP. We have a standard. Wherever you want to do a particular project, a particular experiment in the lab, there is a procedure. The procedure is because there is a standard. It's because there is something you are looking at as the reference. Do you get me? So if there is a reference, then there is a way to achieve that particular reference. So that reference is what you aim to get at the end of your practical. If you do not finish, if you end up your test, your practical, and you do not arrive at that thing, you can say that this your test is wrong, or the analysis is inaccurate, is not precise. Do you understand? So the reason why we do tests in the lab is because there are standards, there are reference points, there are things you want to see, there are things you are trying to check out. So you compare what you are looking at now with the already existing standards. That's how you know that the analysis you've done is accurate or not. So in the Forex market, it is the same thing. There are things you want to look at, which is something that does not change, something that always appear. There's something that is always there, and that is the thing you are trying to look at. If you don't see it, then you don't trade. Otherwise, your trade is going to go wrong. So that is what technical analysis is all about. So there is something you are looking for in the price chart. So when you see it, you trade along that line of your analysis. Then sentimental analysis is generally something that has to do with reading the minds of other traders. You know, judging from the fact that not all traders trade the same way. Traders trade with many methods, and you don't really have to be acquainted with all of the ways by which other traders trade. But because you have been in the Forex market, you will know how some traders will be thinking. So when you analyze your chart and you also do the fundamental analysis, then you will be able to judge by your sentiment, and from what you are seeing, you'll be able to judge other people's sentiment about the market. So when you can judge other people's sentiment about the market, you also know what to do. So all of these three, you are going to take them as one thing together. It's not going to be a long something. It's just going to be something you will find very interesting at the end of the day. So you will just pick these three analyses I just wrote for you on the board here now. These three analyses are going to form one. How do you make them to be one? How do you bring them into one? As you bring them together, you have the pathway. You know how the price will move. You know what to do. You'll be having over 80% to 90% accuracy on the market. So if you are not in a hurry, if you are very patient, because I will teach you that in the master class about the traders psychology. If you are very patient, you win over 80% of the time. And with proper risk management that I will also teach you in the master class, you will not blow your account. This is actually something very important I need to tell you at this beginning. So because there's a possibility of you losing all of your money in trading, but with the proper understanding of what I'm going to pass across to you, that is not going to happen to you. Of course, nobody wants to lose, okay? Nobody wants to lose, but it happens that sometimes we lose. I've lost so many accounts, I've wasted a lot of money, and that is why I've been able to arrive at something that is working for me. All right, so the price pathway is going to be how you can see these three types of analysis as one. If you can get it as one, at the end of this course, you would have been able to see, you will be able to know what to do whenever you open your chart. Are you getting me? So now, fundamental analysis. Fundamental analysis. People say it is trading the news, and I said before that no, it is not. It is reading of the raw causes of the movement of price, the reasons that the things that actually cause the actual movement of price, the actual factors that are responsible for the movement of price. Those are what we call fundamental analysis. There are things, factors that are actually responsible, that are the real reasons why price move. If you have money, you don't have money, you cannot have money more than the banks. Are you with me? So even if you do, that your money cannot move the market. There are things that moves the market. So those are the things that we are going to look about in fundamental, and we're going to look into them in fundamental analysis. And all of these things I'm going to share with you is going to be summed up in one word. And let me bring that word for you. Summed up in one word. I don't know if I can change this color. Let me see. Yeah, trends. Or let me just use the word trend. Yeah, everything that we're going to be talking about is going to be summed up in this one word, trend. In fact, the price behavior itself is actually trend. So when you hear the word trend, trend means the behavior, what is in vogue, the character. Do you understand? So what is common? Are you with me? So trend means behavior, it means the pattern, it means the style. Are you getting me? So that is all we're going to be looking at in this advanced course. The topic is price pathway. Okay, that's the topic. Price what? Pathway. And the price pathway, like we already know, is the price behavior. And I'm trying to say that it is summarized in trend. Are you getting me? So you can summarize everything in trend. And I know some of you will be thinking of trend like uptrend, downtrend. That's not what I'm talking about. Just pay attention. Trend. What is trend? Is the behavior, the style, the pattern of a particular currency. Because in the forex market, you will be looking at currencies. Though there are other things like commodities, like melters. Are you getting me? So there are other things, indices that are there that you can trade, but all of these thrives on trend. They have a behavior, they have a style. So the fundamental reasons behind the way they behave, behind why they behave the way they behave, is what we will do in fundamental analysis. Okay, so we're going to be doing that in what? Fundamental analysis. All right, so we'll be looking at fundamental analysis. Fundamental analysis. All right, so the things we'll be looking at under fundamental analysis are as follows. We'll be looking at number one, interest rate. For two, we'll be looking at inflation. For three, we'll be looking at unemployment slash employment data, and the fourth one, GDP, majorly GDP. So that's the four important things that I check. Now, how do I use all of this information on my fundamental analysis? We need to understand what is interest rate first of all. What is interest rate? Do you get? So normally you are trading currencies, and these currencies, they are sovereign currencies. That means they are owned by countries. You know, they are the purchasing power, or they actually reflect the economic stability of that particular country. Do you get? And normally in the forex market, when you trade currencies, you trade them in pairs. So what you'll be doing is not to go and carry newspaper and start reading all kinds of things. No, you just look at the particular currency that you want, the particular currency that you want to look at. Maybe let's say the US dollar, for example, versus the Japanese yen. So what you do as a trader is you go and check the interest rate of the US dollar compared with the Japanese yen to see what is happening in both economies. If the governments are raising, if the banks are raising interest rate for the US dollar, and but for the Japanese yen they are not, then you will know that compared with the Japanese yen, the US dollar will be buying, it will be stronger. Do you understand? Because people will invest more. With higher interest rates, they're actually going to invest more into that currency, because when you are buying a currency as a trader, you are investing into that economy, like I said before. So if the interest rate is being raised for a particular currency compared with the second, which is not being raised, then you know that that particular currency is going to be stronger than the other, and then you already know what to do. The second thing, you go to check the inflation of that particular economy, if there is any inflation, because if inflation is high, then it is bad for a particular commodity. I get me? So then you also check for unemployment, and you can actually check this in Google. You know, many people like to use forexfactory.com, which is good. In fact, I use it as well, but I'm still going to tell you how I get all of this information. But let me tell you how each of these impacts the market first of all. So let me just give space so that we can have some notes on that. All right, so we can have some notes on that. So for the interest rate, this is how it works. The higher the interest rate of a currency, the more attractive it will be to investors. Are you with me? So now, if a particular currency is raising their interest rates, particular economy is raising their interest rate for their currency, then you just know that people are going to be buying that currency. Are you with me? So then secondly, you look at the inflation. If inflation is on the lower side, you know, compared with previous data or compared with other currency, you will know that that currency will be attractive. That currency will attract investors as well. You get me? So now how do you check this? You check the inflation if it is lower compared to previous data, compared with previous data. If it is lower, then the currency is becoming better, it's becoming more attractive. So but if it is getting higher, then that currency is going to have less attraction for investors. Are you getting me? So I come again, interest rate, the higher the interest rate of a currency, the more attractive it will be to investors. Then number two, if inflation is on the lower side, that currency will attract investors. Now this inflation, you are actually comparing it with previous data, like previous reports of the economy regarding inflation. Are you with me? So then also this unemployment data, the more the employment, the more the employment, or which you can say less unemployment, because if there is employment in a particular country or state, it means that there is less unemployment. Do you understand? So it means they have jobs are being created. Now the more the employment or less unemployment rate, the stronger or attractive that currency will be. Are you with me? So everything is just the same, then with this one the same. Are you getting me? The better the GDP compared with others or previous data, the stronger or attractive that currency will be. Are you seeing it? So the GDP is also a determining factor. Now, all of these are very, very important when it comes to fundamental analysis. The first thing you look at is the interest rate, then the inflation, then the unemployment or employment data, and then also the GDP. Now, how do you get all of these information? There are actually sites where you can get most of this information. Sometimes I check CNBC, sometimes I check forexfactory.com. Are you with me? So I'm just going to put it at the bottom here for you. These are the sites I check. Sometimes I check CNBC. See, also check forexfactory.com. Then I still check just Google. I just read any article that comes up, because as a trader you must read, you must learn to read, not necessarily too tedious kind of reading, but just to have a little grasp of what is going on. Do you understand me? So sometimes you can also check Bloomberg, even CNN. You will just know what is going on in the market, because that is what we're talking about. Trends, behavior, whatever is happening, people talk about it. Are you getting me? The trend, people talk about the trend. For example, this is 20th of June, and the talk of the day is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going down. It's already on the news. It's everywhere. Are you getting me? It's everywhere. What is responsible for Bitcoin going down? Why is it dropping in value? That's what you decide. You begin to research as a trader. So you check a site like CNBC. There are many other like it. You check site like you check Bloomberg. You check Google. You check a lot of online sites where you can get good information, verifiable informations, and you read about the reason why Bitcoin is going down. You will see a lot of articles. Now, you are not going to be the one that will change it. You are not going to be the one that will make Bitcoin to start going up. to start buying. The current trend is that Bitcoin is down. So as a trader, what you look for is from the fundamental. If you are actually looking to trading the Bitcoin as against the US dollar, you know that the Bitcoin is falling, is selling. You have done your fundamental analysis without looking at the chart. You already can hear the trend of the currency of that asset, which is Bitcoin in this example now. So Bitcoin is going down, and what do? You go to your chart and do technical analysis in that direction, because there will be some specific things you'll be looking for in your technical analysis, which I'm going to be showing to you later on. So it's not going to be support and resistance and the things you have been taught. It's going to be something really simple, but you've neglected it all this while. So that's what I'm talking about. Your fundamental analysis is trying to know the cause, the real reason, the raw reason behind the particular behavior of a particular asset class. Are you getting me now? The US dollar have been on the upside because of the increase in interest rate. The Japanese yen have been going down because there's no increase of interest rate when you compare it with the US dollar. Are you getting me? So when you go online, you try to check what is the trend, what is the behavior of the particular asset you want to look at. What is the what are the speculations concerning it? What is the interest rate concerning about that currency? What is the inflation of that economy that's using that currency? What is the unemployment status and the employment data of that particular country that uses that currency? What is the current GDP compared with the previous week, the previous day, the previous month, or compared with other currencies? So that is how you know the behavior. That's the first step to knowing what to do when you want to trade. So the first thing you do is you trying to know what has the trend been. How do you approach this? You can decide that I want to check what the trend has been since January or since last year. You can take a 6 months data, you can take 1 month data, you can take 1 year data. You just be looking at it. So that is going to be the bedrock upon which you are going to build your technical analysis. Are you with me now? So this is not trying to check forexfactory.com and to know when they will be releasing news such as NFP. Of course, NFP is non-farm payroll, which is very important for employment data. Are you getting me? So I check all those things as well, but I'm not teaching you something that you will come and look at forexfactory.com. There will be a news released by 2 p.m. for example, and that's Nigerian time now, 2 p.m. Nigerian time. So you feel that, okay, because of this news, let me go to the market now and try to buy or sell at that time. No, I don't trade the news. This is the way I use this. I own this strategy. This is why I use it. I don't trade the news. In fact, I avoid the news. What I do is I wait for the news to be released so that I can know what people are doing about that particular asset at that moment. Are you with me? I will not jump into the chart and buy or sell because of the news. No, I am just really looking at Forex Factory to know what has happened about that currency. Is it buying? Is it selling? Are you getting me? Because in the forex market we buy and sell. So when you look at Forex Factory, when you look at CNBC, when you look at Google or Bloomberg or other sites, even CNN and other sites, when you look at them, you are just trying to get one thing about this currency I'm looking at. Is it buying or is it selling? That's all. Like I just made an example of Bitcoin now. You will be foolish if you go and buy Bitcoin now because you are not the owner of the market. You cannot move the market. Bitcoin is selling. So you, as a trader who has limited capital, what you do is to know the behavior, the trend, the current pathway, the current path that price has taken. So concerning Bitcoin, Bitcoin is down. To be wrong for you to be looking for buy setups on the chart. Are you getting me? So the same thing for JPY. JPY is down. It will be wrong for you to be looking at buy setups for the JPY. Even though you may see a buy setup, it will be wrong for you to trade it. Why? Because the behavior of the JPY is that it is down. Until the trend changes, you don't buy. You only follow the trend. You only go with the trend of the currency. So fundamentally, we are saying that you need to know what is happening concerning the currency you are looking at. So the currency that you are looking at, you need to know what is happening about it. And this is June 20th. I just mentioned now that the JPY is down. It will be wrong if you are buying it. Are you with me? Now the Bitcoin is down. It will be wrong if you are buying it. The US dollar is strong. It will be wrong if you are shorting it. Now, how do I know all of this? Because of the interest rate, the inflation, unemployment and employment data, the GDP as well. Are you getting me? So these are the major things I'm looking at. I'm not looking at Forex Factory to know when there will be a major or a minor news. No, many of you know about major news, high impact news, low impact news, medium impact news. You know about all those ones in Forex Factory. That's not what I'm talking about. You just try to know what is going on about the currency, and you just need to listen to your news outlets, your information centers, and you will just know all of this. You need to check your CNN or CNBC. You need to check forexfactory.com. Sometimes you check Google. You read articles on Twitter and everywhere. So that's how you get to know what is happening about a particular economy. Are you getting me now? So for example, you don't expect that an economy that is having issues with war, crisis, like there is war, there is crisis, there is instability in the country at that moment politically, you don't expect that currency to do well. Are you getting me? So that alone forms a basis for your technical analysis. Are you with me? So that is the pathway first. So right now I've mentioned three things. That means for some time now I have decided that I will not sell the US dollar. So I don't need to do this analysis every day, because I know that the trend of the US dollar is that it is very strong. People are interested in it, they are buying it. Are you with me? So, and I know this since the month of March, since February rather. So since February I know this. So from that February I have never sold US dollar. I've been buying it. I will only look for buy setups to buy it. So meaning whenever the US dollar is paired with any other currency like the USD JPY, USD CAD, or USD whatever kind of pair it is paired with, I always buy the US dollar when I see my setup formed for a buy. Then for the Japanese yen, I always sell it when I see a setup for a sell. Are you getting me? For Bitcoin, I've been selling Bitcoin. Are you getting me? Because you know that the trend is down. You are not going to be the one that will change the trend. Your own is to follow the path that particular asset have set for you. You don't create the pathway, you follow the pathway created for you. Are you getting me? So that's how I use this strategy I call price pathway. This is the first part of the strategy. So then let me just show you Forex Factory. I'll just show you maybe is there any need, because most of you already know how to use it, but for the beginners, for the sake of beginners, I'm just going to show you guys Forex Factory. Just going to show you guys Forex Factory. Just hold on a bit. Let me share my screen. Sorry, I have not shared my screen. I did take note. All right. Okay. Let me share my screen. All right. This is forexfactory.com. It's already loading. Just learn a bit. So in Nigeria, and by my time here is 9:25 p.m. I told you before in the basic course how you can set the time to be your own time zone. Okay, so just for you to click on this time, here it is here, and I just click on it and you set your time zone here. Okay, so when you set your time zone, you choose the time zone that applies to you, and then you save the settings. Are you with me? So that's how you see, so that all the information can be synchronizing at once for you. All right, now this is this section of the news. Today is Monday, and these are the news. I actually did a filter. You can filter the news you want to see. This is high impact news. Okay, this red, you can see the high impact expected, meaning if that news is released, there will be a significant impact on the price chart of that currency. So then this is medium impact expected. This is low impact expected, and this is non-economic. So now what we do here is sometimes you can decide to select the types of event. Are you seeing it? So these are the types of events, and the things I look at is the inflation, the employment, central bank. You can look at the bonds. So you can off all of these other ones, the housing, the consumer surveys, business surveys, species, miscellaneous. So you can look at these 5, and you can select all of the currencies, all. Are you getting me? All. So then you click apply filter. Are you with me? So you are only going to see news that are relevant to those factors you've already selected. Are you with me? So this is on Tuesday. It's going to be tomorrow. Now, how do you make use of this information? This is going to be high impact expected for the AUD, for the Australian dollar. Okay, let's look at this euro. For the sake of time, let's look at this euro. So this euro, all right. So this is the source of this information is going to be the European Central Bank, also known as the ECB. So which is a very important news that can determine the strength of that currency. So what does it measure? It measures the difference in value between imported and exported goods, services, income flows, and unilateral transfers during the previous month. So when this news is released, if ASHWA is greater than the forecast, then that currency is going to do well. So the news is good for that currency. So if the ASHWA is greater than the forecast, so the forecast will always be there. It's after they release the news, the ASHWA data will be released. So if the ASHWA data is greater than the forecast, then it's good for the currency. So frequency, it is released monthly, about 50 days after the month ends. So it's released monthly. So why traders care? Is directly linked to currency demand. A rising surplus indicates that foreigners are buying more of the domestic currency to execute transactions in the region. So this particular data on July 21 is actually, they are going to be releasing this report July 20, which is today, but they will be publishing it here at this time on Tuesday 21st. So it's about the current account. Are you getting me? So this data is, you have seen the details, the information it entails. So actually I'm not coming here every day to just like, okay, let me see whether there's a high impact news or a low impact news. No, I will wait till all of these things happens, then I will come and check what has happened. Now let me say, for example, this is for euro. This data, this is the previous data, 2.8%. This is the forecast, and this is the ASHWA. So the ASHWA is greater than the forecast, meaning it is good for the currency. So meaning at this moment, the euro is stronger than before, stronger than yesterday. Are you getting me? So already I know that, okay, the euro is stronger. So what should I be looking at to buy the euro? Are you with me? But not just instantly. There are other things I'm still going to look at. I'm still going to look at inflation. We'll look at so many other things about the euro. Are you getting me? So if it all aligns together for a stronger currency, then I'll be buying the euro. Meaning any other pair that is paired with it, I'll be selling it. If I compare the data of that particular euro to that currency. Are you with me? So another site I also look at sometimes, I did not mention it before, is currency strength meter. Yeah, currency strength meter.org. I look at currency strength meter also. So I'm just telling you what I do. This is not to sound big or strange. Just telling you what I do. So I'll look at currency strength meter, and as you look at it, the Australian dollar is strong, the NZD is strong, then the third strongest currency here is the euro. Now the JPY is down. This has been the case of JPY for a long time. There are times it will rise up a bit and come down again. So, but it has always been low compared with other currency. Are you with me? So even though the US dollar is weak this night, it's still stronger than the JPY. Are you with me? So the JPY has been down. So people have been selling it. This is how you know the behavior, the trend, the paths to follow. Are you with me? So I'm not going to be buying the Japanese yen no matter what, because any of the other currency are stronger than it. So this is the last thing I check. If I have done all of my going about, reading of news, those things I do them sometimes once in a week, sometimes twice in a month. Are you with me? I don't read all these many things at once. I just try to know the trend. Like I told you, I knew that JPY has been down since February. The US dollar have been strong since that same time as well. So I don't even need to be reading about it every day. Because I hear people talk about it. I'm on Twitter. I read, I watch news. Do you understand? So I hear reports, I see people talk, and I know that, oh, this is what is happening with this particular economy at the moment. Are you with me? So that's how you do your fundamental analysis. It's not that you will just come to Forex Factory like we did now, and you'll be looking at, at 2:30 there will be a news. Then you just go and stay by your screen. By 2:30 you will now place a trade. No, that's not how I use it. That's not what I'm talking about. You actually check this. I check this thing not every day. It's only once in a while. Are you getting me? So once in a while, I just check it because I know that whenever a trend starts, sometimes it takes time. Why do you call it a trend? Because it takes, like, that's the behavior for some time, over a period of time. So that's why you don't need to be checking it every day. Because when the behavior changes, you will know. It's something, because you are good at looking at the places you used to look at. You are on Twitter, you are on the various other platforms you belong to, you check CNBC, you check Google. As a trader, you need to have a holistic knowledge of all of these things. So what I'm trying to do here now is something I'm going to give to you now as an assignment. So you are going to be looking at the currencies you are interested in to just develop the trend, the current trend of those currencies. I've mentioned the JPY, I've mentioned the US dollar, I've mentioned Bitcoin. So I've also mentioned the I think I mentioned those three. So you now go and check other currencies and try to see what is happening with them. You can also know what is happening with the CAD by knowing what is happening with the oil, because you know that Canada is a major exporter of oil, and if oil price is going up, CAD will be doing well. So you know that as long as the oil market is rising, then CAD will be strong as well. Are you getting me? So you can also note this from the chart, and that means the chart and all of this I'm talking about works together. They work pari passu. If the US dollar is strong, I will see it on the chart. Are you with me? But I don't just look at the chart alone. When I go to the chart and I see that the US dollar is strong, then I'll go and read other things that will make me believe that, oh, this trend is going to be sustainable. So if that trend is going to be sustainable, then I will trade that trend for some time. Are you with me? So that's the first thing. These are the first work I do in my price pathway strategy. Now this strategy now is not demanding. It's very simple. It's just aligning yourself in where you should be, in places you should be. Know where to look at: CNBC, Forex Factory, Currency Strength Meter, Twitter, Bloomberg. There are a lot of them. You don't have to look at all of them at once, and you will still hear because you are in the community of traders. I have a group where I talk to people as well, and I also listen to other traders on YouTube. I follow traders who are better than I am on YouTube. I listen to what they say about the current trends of things about the particular currency. So when I hear it and I go also and search about it, then I know, oh, I should be buying this currency or I should be selling this currency. So this is how I do fundamental analysis. You don't just come to Forex Factory and you pick a trade because of what you see on forexfactory.com. Do you understand? So You can also check what the stock market is doing. You check what S&P 500 is doing. You check what gold is doing. You check what the oil is doing. You know, the Nasdaq. You check what they are doing, because there are currencies that move together with them. Are you with me? So if the US dollar is strong, there's no way Nasdaq will be strong. There's no way S&P 500 will be strong. So because they don't move together. There are assets that move together. So when you check the charts and you see that, oh, this is happening, then you should expect this. Are you getting me? So that's the fundamental analysis. With this, we've come to the end of the first part of the price pathway. So in our next class, I'm going to be looking at the technical analysis aspect, and there will be specific things that I'll be looking at in the technical analysis. So some of the things you will know them already, but I'm going to be mentioning specifically things that I do that works most of the 80% of the time. So I will not mention everything in one video, of course. I will just start it small so that you will be building upon it. Are you getting me? You'll be building from step to stage by stage until you have a full grasp of what I am talking about. So what have I said so far? I've talked about price pathway, a strategy I call price pathway. And the first part of that strategy is to understand what is going on about the market I am looking at. If I'm looking at the US dollar, then I should know what is happening to the US dollar, and every information possible I can look at, I look into them. But these are the four major ones I look at: the interest rate, the inflation, unemployment / employment data, the GDP. I just showed you sites I also use. I use CNBC, Forex.com, Google. I think I should add this other one that I just talked about now, because I use that one a lot. Currency prices trend. I think that spelling is correct. Meta.org. You can check the spelling by yourself. So I should also check this one a lot. Are you getting me? So these are important things I do. It's not every day. It's going to be maybe once in a month, at the beginning of the month, or twice in a month, or sometimes once in a week. Like in the weekends or Sunday, I can just, it's Saturday rather, I can just take out Saturday and check the things that I checked before. If there is any changes. So if there are changes, then I already know that, oh, this is what I'm going to do with this particular asset in the coming week. Are you getting me? So this is how I use the first part of the strategy, because whether you believe it or not, you need to have a wholesome view of where the market is headed before you can succeed. And fundamental analysis is part of it. There are 3 W's of trading. You need to know where price is coming from, where price is currently at, and where price is going. And in order for you to know these 3 things I just mentioned, you need fundamental analysis as part of it. Okay, so now in our next class, we'll be looking at technical analysis. The first thing I also want to mention is please subscribe to this channel, share the video, let people see the video so that they can learn as well, so that you not learn alone. I'm not going to say that you will spend all this time to look at what I'm talking about now and you are not going to make money. It is going to be true. You will see it, you will make money. But the thing is, you still need to be trained on your psychology and risk management for you to be successful with any given strategy. So what I've done now is just kind of laying a foundation of what I do in my analysis, and the fundamental is part of my analysis. So I just do this one maybe once in a month. Sometimes I don't even do it. Why I say I don't even do it is because I watch other YouTubers. Are you getting me? I watch them, so I just listen to what they want to say about a particular currency. So, and that alone is enough a fundamental analysis for me to ride upon. Are you getting me? So why sometimes I will do all of these things I mentioned. It's not every day, just once in a month, twice in a month, or sometimes every Saturday, that's every week, once in a week. Are you getting me? So it gives you the mind about the market, what to do. You don't just come there and act irrationally because of what the chart is showing you. No, you already know that this is what will happen. So then when you start doing it on the chart, you now respond. Are you with me? So that is how I do it. Please like the video, share this content, subscribe to the channel. Let's grow together. If you subscribe, it will help the channel. If you like the video, it will help the channel. If you share with others, it will help the channel. It will also help me. Okay, so please make sure you do that for me, and this is all I ask of you in return. All right, so with this we've come to the end of the class. Our next class will be technical analysis.